Clinton Central, Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio this morning is Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services. Paul, good to see you, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Seth. Beautiful day.
It really is. Beautiful day, and hopefully we have turned the corner on the way to springtime in Central Illinois, just in time for the annual Warner Hospital Health Fair. We'll get to that here in just a bit, Paul, but I want to start with, it is budget time for the hospital, and the city of Clinton has approved your budget. Of course, the hospital is city-owned, so they have to approve your budget. How are things looking on the budget front this year, sir?
Our budget was approved at the city council meeting on Tuesday, April 21st. Our fiscal year starts May 1 till April 30, and that is why the budget gets approved in April.
Okay.
So I presented a budget that has a positive bottom line, but there are pressures that we haven't had in the past with legislative changes, less increases in insurance revenue, but expenses don't go down. So there are those challenges. However, we have presented and were approved with a budget that has a positive bottom line. Something different about the capital budget this year that I did point out to the city council is, in the past I talked about a big IT expense, that Meditech Expanse conversion, which a lot of people don't associate with, but it's, it has been installed and it was successfully went live on November 1, and then all the bugs getting worked out over the next 5 months. So the public doesn't see all the benefit of that, but we do have more interaction with patients now, where they can more easily get online, make appointments, see the results, talk to their providers. So that was successful. Now, the fiscal year 20, we call it fiscal year 27, but it starts May 1. That budget is more back to improvements to the facility, safety, efficiency, and back to making sure this slightly aged facility is as efficient as it can be. For example, new windows. And we haven't had new windows in 50 years. And so things like that need to be replaced. Making sure that all the different stairways and patient rooms have the most efficient air conditioning, HVAC services, and so forth. Those kind of things are, more back to the normal plant and maintenance upgrades. But in addition, when you walk into the main entrance right now, there is, when you register in the main entrance, there's a renovation going on so that it's more accessible for wheelchairs, and just a refreshed look, new flooring and things like that. So there's a lot of different capital expenditures going on throughout the hospital to accentuate those things, as you know, that we've done with a new emergency room, with the specialty clinic, and to try and extract more efficiencies from those past expenditures.
With the current, the current fiscal year set to wrap up this week, how's the current fiscal year going to turn out?
It's turning out positive. It's once again, our team has done a good job with budgeting, and the board holding us responsible so that the profit at the end of the year is actually probably closer than it's ever been to what we actually budgeted.
What has been the challenge this year? Whether it's unforeseen expenses, whether it's maintenance, was it if I'm not mistaken, didn't we do more in the electronic medical record type of stuff this year? Yeah.
And that was a 2-year project.
Yeah.
That was a $1.8 million 2-year project that involved every department, and it actually slowed down business a little bit, where we had to make sure that the installation of the new system is sound before we can really jettison efforts to market all of our services and try and increase volume going forward.
Sure. Looking ahead, you mentioned focus on the facility. Is there anything specific in terms of focus on the facility, efficiency, anything like that? What's in the year ahead?
Well, I talked about something simple like windows, but if your windows are 50 years old, you can bet that your electric costs, your utility costs will be lower if you replace the windows. But then there's safety issues, just little things like that really don't cost much. But the parking lot, the physician's parking lot has some cracks in it. If somebody, any person that lives in the neighborhood is walking through, not just our employees, and trips on that crack, there's a lawsuit. We just looked over the whole facility and said, what is it that we have been ignoring because we've been focusing on these IT and these larger projects? Let's get everything as efficient and safe as possible.
Yeah, for sure. So window replacements, is that going to be a thing this year, or?
It'll be a thing this year.
Yeah.
We're also looking at some patient room improvements.
Okay.
To try to increase the amount of private bathrooms within the inpatient. But we have to look more at outpatient. Inpatient is only 5% of our business. More and more, all services are being provided on an outpatient basis. So,
okay.
Our infusion therapy, try and market all of our 3D mammograms, all the imaging, the CTs, the MRIs, everything that we do on a regular basis, try and improve patient flow, make it the most efficient for the patient to come in, register, get their services, go home.
You mentioned the increased costs, kind of putting the pinch on things. Where is the biggest increase in cost for the hospital right now?
Well, labor within the healthcare field has always been a challenge, and there are within the clinical areas, ER, respiratory therapy, these specific niches within the healthcare services that we provide are a challenge for even large facilities. So they're always going to be a challenge for a small critical access hospital. But in addition, inflation on supplies,
sure,
3%, that you're lucky if there's only an increase in 3% in supplies or professional services, ER doctors, and all of these things. When we talk about HVAC upgrades and so forth, all the costs that have gone into that are 5% and more.
Yeah.
The federal government is Medicare and Medicaid insurance is not giving us 5% increases. So
sure,
there's the challenge. How do we do the same or more with the same amount of resources?
Yeah, for sure. And in hearing all that, I wonder, how does the hospital continue to maintain a positive bottom line? Because everything's going up and you've got projects coming up. How do you continue to maintain a positive bottom line, Paul?
Well, one of the ways is by investing in those IT projects to make sure that we don't need a lot of IT people and that we're competitive with the other larger systems that has sophisticated IT systems. We don't want to have a lot of people. We want to have the most efficient technology available so that we can keep the amount of people we have to try to provide more services, more volume.
That's where I was going to go next. Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services, my guest in studio today. More services. Is expansion of services coming in 2026 and 2027?
Well, in our specialty clinic, for example, we did just add a new urologist from Gibson Area Hospital, and so we're looking to add additional urology services. On my wish list, and most of the hospitals are on there, trying to get dermatology services back.
Oh, really?
It's very hard. Bloomington Normal just got back a group that had left them a few years ago. And so
what's going on in dermatology? There's such a shortage.
There are dermatology clinics in larger cities that do dermatology services and also have surgery centers, and they're built around the surgery center. So to get the dermatologists to come out to the smaller facilities and visit our specialty clinic and all the smaller hospitals, it's a challenge. And I've always invited them to do surgical procedures at our facility, but they prefer to bring them back to where they built a surgery center. So that's always.
I wouldn't have
been
put dermatology and surgery together.
I know it doesn't sound. So there's two different kinds of dermatology. There's aesthetics. There's the.
Oh.
You see, there's the shots
The-
that make
the-
your
the
your
plastic
lips bigger and
surgery.
all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
But then you get into the plastic surgery. You get into the folks, the seniors, that develop cancer spots on their head and their faces as they get older.
Oh,
These things can be removed and were removed in the past with an in-office procedure. Dermatologists do that.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Huh.
They-
Interesting.
They used to fill up the specialty clinic.
I don't know why the plastic surgery side of it didn't dawn on me. That it makes total sense. They're in the bigger areas, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
They have a surgery center that does the full gamut
Yeah.
of both aesthetic dermatology and full surgery to remove things that are chronic.
I'm with you now. Sure. So seeking out dermatology is where the hospital.
It's a goal for the specialty clinic.
Yeah.
We've been lucky to continue to add necessary specialties, but there's one on my wish list that the public actually asks a lot about.
Yeah.
Are you going to get dermatology back?
Sure. Makes sense. Any other services you're targeting?
I just want to point out one last point that I did stress with City Council is that once again, our capital budget of 1.9 million for the new fiscal year, that includes a whole bunch of things that we don't have time to go through for the year, is going to be provided through, because we have a positive operating budget, through normal cash flow. We do not have to borrow money.
Mm-hmm.
So we do not have any debt, and we don't need to have any debt in the future.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the hospital has any debt right now. So
That is correct.
And you've got a new specialty clinic entrance that you finished up, year and a half ago, maybe, that's been open for a little bit now. So, yeah.
Right. We finished. It's actually just in last fall, about October, it was open. Finally.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that now. Sure. Well, Paul, on that note, budget, services, anything I didn't touch on today you want to put out there? I know we've got the health fair coming up. We'll do that on the other side of the break. But in terms of, again, budget, services, did I not get to something you want to put out there?
I just want to remind the public that the hospital is still one of the largest employers in the city and the county. And so while we provide 155 full-time jobs, there's actually an indirect effect to the community. If we have 155 full-time, but 250 actual employees, they're spending money in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we have a payroll of $11 million over an entire year, the indirect payrolls that are fed when our employees go to the grocery stores and the gas stations, it generates sales within the community.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
Our budget is not just assisting the hospital, it's assisting the community in providing additional jobs.
Well said. Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services, my guest in studio today. More to come with Paul on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Looking for a provider who puts your health first? SIU Family Medicine is accepting new patients. Our care teams are here to keep you healthy, whether you're managing a chronic condition or staying on top of preventative care. With expert physicians and compassionate care, we are here to help you take the next step in your health. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your first appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine. Forward for you.
Hey there, loyal listeners. This is your team at Regional Radio with a quick heads up. Some of the great programming you enjoy throughout the day is pre-recorded, but don't worry. We're still bringing you the same local content you love. Our legal team insisted we mention this, and hey, keeping the attorneys happy keeps us on the air. So thanks for tuning in and being part of the Regional Radio family. We're proud to bring local, compelling content to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Spring is in the air, so it's time to choose your new Silverado. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have a good selection of new Silverados with springtime savings and special finance rates. Choose from regular cabs, double cabs, or crew cabs in gas or diesel. We're also allowing extra money for your trade on all new Silverados this month. Silverado, together let's drive. See all our inventory at bombchevybuick.com right from the start.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. Ugh, it's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio today, Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services. Paul, it didn't help. I had the Central Illinois CEO kids on there. I got myself tongue-tied a little bit.
To them. They were very excited.
They were very good. Yeah, very good. One of them said your place was their favorite site visit this year. So there you go. A little shout out to you guys. Let's talk health fair, Paul. 2026 health fair is here. Talk to me a little bit about what's going on this year.
So Tuesday evening, May 19th, that's almost in 3 weeks, 5 to 7 in the hospital parking lot, as we have typically done. Being outside is always the challenge with what's the weather going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to do any backup locations if it rains this time. We've tried that in the past, and we've worked out arrangements with the First Christian Church and the maintenance people that need to be available to unfold tables and run them over somewhere. It's just not worth it. It's actually dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to hope for good weather, and if it doesn't work out, we will reschedule.
There you go.
But it will be May 19th. All the hospital departments will be out there with interactive displays and giveaways. We're going to really focus on wellness and prevention, and as a result, be providing free labs and blood pressure checks. Our ER will be doing blood pressure checks, and we'll be, free labs looking at your cholesterol levels.
Mm-hmm.
Free healthy snacks this time. Won't be cooking outside. We'll be, again, trying to be efficient with our resources and providing free healthy snacks. But we will have 25 additional vendors besides our department.
Mm-hmm.
Heritage will be out there. The ROSC group will be out there. The library. We will have the Clinton Police and Fire Department. And, we always have to have things to try and get families to bring the kids out. And so they always enjoy the fire trucks. But in addition, we'll have the face painting lady. That's always popular with the kids.
Sure is. Yeah. So again, the when and where on this one, Paul, is?
That is May 19th. It's a Tuesday. So it's in the middle of the week, but it's a Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the hospital parking lot.
Yeah, so staying outside this year, and again, you mentioned kind of the health focus of the fair this year, and those free blood checks will be a real nice attraction, I think, for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
So
what are the issues that folks in the community come to us for a lot? We have a lot of diabetics, so family medicine. After some questioning to see if it's appropriate, we'll be doing A1C tests to see if you should be in a diabetic program, and things like that.
Sure. Well, Paul, as anything else on health fair you want to put out there for us this year?
No, sir. Let's just hope for good weather for the health fair on May 19th.
We're due after last year. It was a stormy day last year.
That's right.
Yeah, very good. Hey, Paul, let's dive into, I venture a guess, cold and flu season may start to be, maybe starting to die down a little bit. What are you seeing at the hospital these days?
You're right. And you know how the allergy season overlaps with the cold and flu season. Sometimes folks have a cold that seems to never go away, and it just turns out to be allergy related and sinuses from rather than being the colds and flus that you get from being inside too much all winter. So allergy season is in full bloom, as they say.
Pun intended, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And the walk-in clinic is really busy as a result of that.
Yeah,
So
sure.
folks should not forget about the walk-in clinic as the first go-to rather than the emergency room.
Sure. And that was the whole point of the walk-in clinic, right? Was to ease the stress on the emergency room.
That's correct.
Yeah,
and it's working out.
Sure. And I wonder, Paul, I came across this a couple weeks ago with myself, debating, is what I have an emergency? Is what I have something maybe I should just wait to the next day and see the walk-in clinic? How do folks make that decision?
If it's like a stuffy head and the cold really feels, you don't know exactly, do you have a temperature or not? First thing you got to do when there's a cold is there a temperature? You can probably take that at home. And if you got a temperature, you need to go in because you don't want that to turn into pneumonia, right? But if you've hurt yourself and you're not sure if you've broken a bone, but there's swelling in a limb, an arm and a leg or something, you need to get to the emergency room. Because they are the best outfitted to address that immediately with imaging to figure out what's really wrong, an X-ray, in other words, lab tests, and address it immediately.
Sure. Easy enough. Well, Paul, how do folks follow all things Warner Hospital and Health Services? Where do they go? Who do they call?
The hospital has a very popular Facebook page.
All right, so follow the hospital on Facebook. Paul, always good to talk with you. We'll see you in May. I can't believe it's May already, but we'll see you in May. Appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Seth.
For sure. Paul Skowron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services, my guest in studio here this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. We come up on the bottom of the hour here on the morning show. Network news comes your way next on WHOW.
WHOW.